Recently on the boardwalk, someone asked me this question.
So why are you so into fitness?
Because I think it gives us the best chance of living a full life.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's a great answer.
I thought it was worth unpacking why I think it is that fitness is the key to living a full life. What is a full life? How does fitness help us get to that? And for those of you who find yourselves agreeing with me as I talk through this, please make sure that you send this video to people who want the kind of life that you want, the kind of life that you're living, so that they can also get the benefits that you're getting from pursuing fitness. And for those of you who are finding yourself disagreeing for whatever reason, I would love to hear about why. Help me find my own blind spots. But regardless, if you're watching this video and you want to see more like it, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like the video. That's the only way I can guarantee they're all going to come your way. I'm Dr. Sean Pastuch, the owner and founder at Active Life, and I've been helping people get out of aches and pains for the last 20 years. Let's start with what I think a full life is. I wanted to come up with something really simple. I wanted to come up with 3 different things that make a life full. So we have them in no specific order. The first thing that makes a life full is that you have the ability to say yes to anything that you want to do. You're still going to say no to stuff that you don't want to do. But I want you to be able to say yes if it's something that you're interested in, something that you're excited by. Your body should never hold you back from having an experience. So 1, to live a full life, you should be able to say yes to anything that you want. I'll use my life and my stories to give more color to each of these 3 things I'm going to describe. Back when my daughter was 5 years old, she asked if she could sit on my shoulders while we were walking home from a block party. I was in the middle of 7 years, I guess not the middle, the end at this point, of 7 years of excruciating neck pain from a disc injury that I suffered in a CrossFit gym trying to kip up into a handstand push-up. It's on me. It's not on CrossFit, that's on me. My neck was hurting so bad that I told my 5-year-old daughter that I couldn't put her on my shoulders. That sucks. She's 5. I want to carry her on my shoulders down the aisle if she gets married. I didn't want to ever have to say no to things like that again. The more fit that we are, and fitness does include being pain-free, having joints that work, having tendons that are healthy, all of those kinds of things. The more fitness I had, the more likely I'd be able to say yes to my daughter when she asked me to put her on my shoulders, or anything else. Now another one of my daughter, 4 years after that, likes playing softball. I get down on the ground to have a catch with her. She pitches to me. We go on hikes as a family. I want to be able to say yes to all of these things. And being physically fit is a crucial element of doing that. When I wasn't, because of my neck, I wasn't able to do that. You might be saying that's not an example of not being fit. That doesn't count. Well, I want you to think about it for a second. What if I couldn't get into a seat on an airplane? I had to buy 2. Couldn't afford to buy 2. What if hiking with my family in Muir Woods is something that I couldn't do because I didn't have the cardiovascular stamina or the muscular endurance to do it? So my wife and my kids went on the hike in the redwoods and I sat on a bench at the bottom waiting for them to get done. What if that was the situation? Would that count? It just so happens I've been prioritizing fitness my entire life. So I don't have a ton of stories about me not being able to do stuff, which I think is awesome. You want to be able to say yes to anything that you want to do, and fitness is going to be the foundation of your ability to do that. The second element of living a full life is having friends and family that you love. Now, how does fitness contribute to you having friends and family that you love? Well, I just talked about going on hikes with my wife and kids. I talked about carrying my daughter on my shoulders. I talked about having catches with my daughter. I think these are the memories that they're going to have as they get older. I don't think that my daughters are going to remember the things I bought for them. I don't think that my daughters are going to remember the times I said no. I think they're going to remember the times I said yes and the experiences that we had together. The same is true with friends. Just last weekend, a friend of mine just sent a random text at like 9 o'clock at night on a Friday. Basketball, 7:30 a.m. tomorrow? I'm in. What if I couldn't be in? What if I didn't have the fitness to play basketball? What if I just couldn't bring myself to getting up in the morning to going out and playing? I had a great day with 3 friends. We're going to do it every weekend now. Every weekend that we're all available. But the point is that being physically fit allows you to opt into things that your friends and family are doing. That leads to memories. The other thing is, let's be honest, people who are healthier and fitter are easier to be around because they need less and they have more to give. That doesn't sound like a sympathetic thing to say if you're watching this and you're not physically fit today. But it is, and I'll share why. It's true. And things that are true, that are painful to hear, are the things that we need to hear the most, because it gives us the information that we need to decide that we want to make a change. Here's why it's true. If we're out on a hike, for example, in Muir Woods that I did with my family, and I'm not in shape, and they want me to be with them, they're going to cut the hike short because they feel bad about me not being able to go. Or they're going to go on the hike, and while they're on it, they're going to be thinking about all of the things that Dad would have loved to have seen, that they got to see, that they got to experience, that I didn't. That's taking an experience from them. That's removing the opportunity to give the gift of my presence because I lack the physical fitness to be there. Extrapolate that out amongst anything else that you want. That goes on and on and on. We talked about me having catches with my daughter in the yard. If I can't get down into a crouch position and have her pitch to me and throw the ball back to her, she doesn't get to practice with her dad. I have more to give. I have less that I need. How do I have less that I need? I never need anyone to slow down and wait for me. I never need anyone to drive somewhere that we could otherwise walk when everybody else wants to walk. I never need anybody to grab a taxi when we're on vacation wandering around a city because I'm too physically exhausted to keep wandering around that city and just taking it all in. I'm probably going to live longer. No guarantees to that one, right? But the longer that we live and the better the health span, our ability to stay physically independent through those years, the more that we can give and the less that we need to take. These are not things that are really debatable, and having more fitness affords us more of them. I'm sorry if you don't like the way that that sounds. It doesn't make it any less true. The third thing that I believe makes a life fully lived is that you're optimizing for experiences over things. And this might sound like a bit of an overlap from the stuff that I talked about earlier, because we went into the value of the experiences when I talked about the other stuff. But if you're optimizing for things, I mean, can you name all the video games that you had when you were a kid? All of them? I bet you were super excited when you got them, but can you remember all of them? Or do you even remember the best ones? Or do you remember the best ones because of the times that you had playing them with other people? It wasn't about the game. It was about the experience that you had while you were playing it. It was about coming home at lunchtime from Calhoun High School and going back to a friend's house and playing GoldenEye, 4 guys. It was about late nights playing NBA 2K, whatever year it was, with a bunch of friends, cycling through who got to play based on who won the last game. It was never about the thing, it was about the experience. Going back to the hike I talked about before, it was about going on a hike with my wife, my mom, my 3 kids, and getting lost in Muir Woods, doing what was supposed to be a 5-mile loop, turning it into a 10-mile mistake. We got lost and we still talk about it. It was so much fun after. If you're optimizing for experiences over things, you're going to see parts of the world that you would never otherwise see. You're going to get to share things with other people you would never get to share. My favorite thing to do for people who I love is to cook for them. That's an experience. My hope is that they enjoy the time that they are there, and I get to lock that in as a memory that I have of sharing something that I love to do with people I love to be around that they enjoy getting from me. Doing that is all made easier when you're healthier. If you're fitter, you can do all of these things with a greater ease than if you're not. And all you need to do, if you're like, nah, that's not really true, I could cook for somebody and I'm not healthy, take it to the extremes, because everything is on a continuum. Do you think that the healthiest person in the world has an easier time cooking for friends than the least healthy person in the world, than the least fit person in the world? If the answer to that is yes, then all that we're talking about is shades of gray in the middle. And if you're allowing yourself to share the belief that it doesn't really matter, then you're on the slippery slope to being the person who actually can't do it at all. Improving your fitness makes it easier for you to do every single thing that you want to do in your life, from sleeping through the night, to showing up at your job, to cooking dinner, to being a parent, to being a son, to being a father, to being a mother. It doesn't matter. Fitness makes it easier. The best definition that I've heard for fitness is from Greg Glassman, the founder of CrossFit. It is the measure, I added that part, of work capacity across broad time and modal domains. What that means is how much can you get done in how little time, in how many different ways. The better you are at that, the better you're going to be at being able to show up for anything in the world. And that is why fitness is the key to living a full life. I'm Dr. Sean Pastuch. If you liked this video, share it with a friend, like it below, subscribe to the channel. It's the only way we can make sure you're always going to see them. This video is over.